Welcome everybody to L2R. I'm Kinaesthesia, and I'll be hosting this video for the Conclave of Wind encounter in the Throne of the Four Winds instance. This is the first encounter in the instance, and it consists of 3 separate bosses and periodic adds. None of the mobs have too many abilities, but for the sake of organization, we will be covering them one at a time. This fight will require you to split your raid up and occasionally rotate members. We recommend you use 3 tanks, 7 healers, and 15 DPS. Your DPS makeup should be balanced, with no heavy favor toward melee or range. Roash and Anshell have 14.4 million HP, and Nazir tops out at 25.3. Collectively, they have 54.1 million HP, plus adds. All 3 bosses must be defeated within 60 seconds of each other, or they will regenerate their HP. We did not discover an enrage timer, but you should not assume that there is none. The fight takes place upon 3 platforms located around the instance. Roash is on the far right, Nazir the middle, and Anshell is on the left. Let's begin by covering Roash's abilities. Roash does not melee, and instead his primary attack is Slicing Gale. This deals around 25,000 nature damage to a random target. He will also spawn tornadoes that slowly move around his platform, dealing big damage as well as knocking back anybody they come into contact with. The tornadoes move slowly and should not be very difficult to avoid. His final normal ability is Wind Blast. He will fixate on a point around the platform and begin to cast a conal blast of wind. While casting this, Roash will slowly rotate around the platform. Wind Blast will deal 10,000 damage to anybody it hits and knock them off of the platform. Unlike Roash, Nazir melees a primary target, and so he requires a tank. Around every 10 seconds, Nazir will cast Wind Chill. This attack hits everybody within 100 yards for 10,000 frost damage. It will increase frost damage taken by 10% for 35 seconds and stacks. Because of this ability, nobody can stay on Nazir's platform indefinitely. Permafrost is a frontal cone ability that is channeled at Nazir's current target. It deals around 15,000 frost damage per second over 3 seconds. Because of this, the tank should be certain to face Nazir away from the raid and healers. Ice Patch is his final normal ability. He will drop patches of ice around his platform, ticking for around 7,500 damage every second. They will also slow movement speed. These are easy to see and move out of. Like Nazir, Anshell must also be tanked. Periodically, he will cast Soothing Breeze. This is a ground effect, visually similar to Effervescence, which will heal Anshell if he is in it. It will also silence and pacify all raid members standing within it. The tank should be quick to move Anshell out of the affected area, and players, especially healers, should move out of it fast. Anshell will use Nurture to summon ravenous creepers. These adds should be picked up by another tank on the platform and killed with AoE. After they've been alive for a short time, the creepers will begin to cast toxic spores. This will cause spores to erupt from them every second for 5 seconds, and affect anybody in melee range with a stacking nature damage debuff. This is why it's important for ranged DPS to kill these adds. Additionally, when Anshell's energy reaches 100%, he will heal any add still alive for 25,000 every second. So it's important to kill the adds quickly and not give them a chance to heal. The 3 main bosses in this fight all have a shared energy bar. It builds up during the course of the fight, and upon reaching 100%, they will simultaneously unleash a powerful ability. Roash will cast Hurricane and launch anybody on his platform into the air. They will take a base of 2,500 nature damage per second, and additional fall damage when the effect ends. Nazir will cast Sleet Storm, dealing 30,000 damage per second to anybody on his platform. This damage is divided or split between all available targets, so having more people on this platform when the ability happens will greatly reduce the healing required. Anshell will cast Zephyr at full energy. This ability heals him and any ads still alive on his platform for 25,000 health every second. Additionally, he will gain a 15% damage buff for 15 seconds after the ability ends. Because of this, healers should make sure to focus on Anshell's tank when his ability ends. Before the fight begins, you must be certain your raid has been positioned correctly. If any boss is left unchecked, he will cast a raid wiping ability until he is engaged. Begin the fight with 2 tanks, 2 healers, and caster DPS on Anshell's platform. 1 tank and 2 healers on Nazir's platform, and the rest of your raid on Roash's platform. Roash will be the first boss your raid will defeat. Melee DPS can go all out on him from the start, since his primary attack is random. Avoid the tornado swirling around and make certain to not be knocked off the platform by his wind blast. It's best to use healers that can maintain effective raid healing while staying mobile on this platform, so druids and priests are good here. With moderate raid DPS, you should be able to kill Roash before the first special. Only bring him to around 10% however. At that point, you should leave a healer, preferably a druid, and 2 to 3 DPS on the platform, while the rest of the raid at Roash's platform rotates over to Nazir. By the time your raid arrives at Nazir's platform, the tank should have plenty of aggro and DPS can go all out again. Make sure to stay out of frost patches on the ground and avoid standing in front of the boss. Just like before, bring Nazir to around 10% health and do not DPS him further. If a special is coming up soon, wait at the platform since the damage at Nazir's platform is split between all targets. Once the special ends, the raid at Nazir's platform can rotate to Anshell's platform. At this same time, the ad tank at Anshell's platform should have no ads still up. He and his healer are then free to rotate to Nazir's platform and relieve the tank and a healer there. That tank and healer will come to Anshell's platform and take over for the 2 who just left. Finally, the healer for Anshell's tank and older healer for Nazir's tank can switch platforms. All of this should be happening as the melee are rotating from Nazir to Anshell. Once at Anshell, DPS should be sufficient enough to kill him or get him low before the next special. If your raid DPS cannot beat out the next special, be prepared to have your melee jump back to Nazir's platform to split the damage of his sleet storm. After this happens, they can come back to Anshell to finish him off. As soon as your raid kills Anshell, DPS has to rush to Nazir to finish him off. Follow that up by rotating back to Roash, and if the melee left there haven't already killed him, finish off the job. That does it for L2R's Conclave of Wind strategy guide. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave us some comments and feedback, and remember to check back often for more information in the latest updates.
I wasn't feeling so good.